right. Welcome back. That's right. This is Play PSVR, the podcast, episode number 50. That's right. You heard that right. You realize Play PSVR, the podcast, is now old enough officially to be the grandfather to a child of a teenage mother. So think about that when you're listening to us. We are granddaddies here. We are covering VR with the experience of aged, wizened old men. And I just want to say right off the bat, apologies to the viewers. Speaking of old men, I have like an old men bat cave going on behind me right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, it looks really, my home studio looks real shoddy. It's under construction. We're making it better, so don't worry about it. But it's going to be beautiful. We have great things in store for you, though. You know, it's going to be one of the better episodes we've had. This week, we got JDMAX 1210 joining us, one of our longtime VR buddies. He's finally going to talk to us about some good stuff, Gran Turismo, Peripherals, things like that. We're going to be talking about some great games. And, of course, you know, Adam is here. I have Adam, the celebrity that you all want to hear from. Adam, you're joining me now. How are you doing, my little teenage mother?
Dude, I am so good. I finally lost the baby weight. I'm living life. I've got back to the yoga studio. I'm ready to rock and roll. And you know what? I'm going to start off with some good vibes because we asked for feedback and we got some feedback, big boy. So I know Alex already saw this, but we want to give a shout out right off the bat to Francesco because dude is a beast. Love this guy. He sent us a email this week and pretty much here, very quick, we had a conversation. But he's like, we're an incredible duo. Love your jokes. Mainly Adam's jokes, I think is what he meant. He just said your jokes, but I think he was specifically talking about me and how we interact with each other. And again, everybody, I don't know what about me is just so surprising. But he said once he saw my face, he couldn't realize he couldn't believe what I looked like. And here's what – this is going to be interesting here. He said – this is what he said. I had built a Kurt Cobain image of you in my mind, which suited you better. So, Alex, I'm going to be honest. I don't really – Kurt Cobain, I don't know who it is. I don't know what he looks like. But from what I remember, wasn't he, like, murdered by his, like, hot wife or something on a ship?
It was ruled a suicide, but people say his wife did it. I don't want to get into the politics behind it. He's the lead singer of Nirvana. He's a pretty influential musician.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking him up right now on my phone because I want to know what this guy thought I looked like.
Yeah,
and
he's
you're
like
going to get a real-time reaction right here.
He's like a 90s sex icon, so it's not a bad thing. But I think he might mean that you look like Kurt Cobain post-suicide.
This guy looks homeless. Long hair.
This is like the second person that thought you were going to be looking like a hobo. This is great. I love it.
Look, this guy looks like he wants to kill himself. Well, that sounded bad. I didn't mean. Oh, I'm just going to shut up. That's what you thought I looked like, dude. Dude, come on. Okay. Regardless, I still love what you had to say about us. Also, you said Alex. He imagined Alex as Clark Kent-ish. Isn't that the dude who's Superman?
Yeah, he thought I sounded like Superman, which I do sound like Superman, and I'm working in 2019 to make myself look more like Superman. I'm pretty Superman-esque when you see me, but it'll be even more Superman-ish once I get 2019, my plans rolled out. So I want to say thank you, Francesco. I'm sorry if we're mispronouncing that. Homeboy hit us up all the way from Italy. We are worldwide. We're like Pitbull here. This is beautiful stuff.
Like that?
That's Adam's Italian accent that actually ends up sounding Jamaican. I love it. It's a superpower in and of itself, speaking of Superman.
Francesco, man, hand me the pineapple.
So here, for people who are watching, normally Adam and I class to join up. We're wearing like a blazer or like button-up shirt and tie. Adam today, he got it stuck in his head. People thinking he looks like such a nerd. So Adam decided to put on like a backwards hat and a T-shirt and try to bust out looking like a supreme jock. Like, you don't want to mess with this guy. He's actually really cool. So I think it went to his head. But I want to say people have said nothing but good things about how I sound, and it's got me kind of paranoid. I think that people rag on Adam because they know he can take it, and people don't rag on me so hard because they They
You
don't
ugly.
take it, and I think the truth might be that maybe I can't take it. But I need somebody to drop some fire on me just so I see how I react. The next episode 51, is going to be full of tears from me, hopefully, because you guys have destroyed me. So if you hate my voice, I want to hear that. If you hate the way I talk, I want to hear that. Hit me up with some feedback on our YouTube channel. Just rag on me, man. I need to improve this. So I need some feedback, some criticism about this. So that'd be great. Sorry to sidetrack you, Adam.
What are you going to do when they say, Adam, you should just get a new host? Boom.
Like I said, I'm going to cry. We're going to have a recording of me crying. Yeah, replace me, please.
So back to the meat and potatoes of the podcast, the gamer juice, what everyone loves, the anticipated segment of them all. I'm going to begin with something I'm pretty excited for. So it's called Mama Chia. And it looks a little weird. It looks like a teen mother with some wheat in her hand. Regardless, it's a chia beverage. So it's blackberry hibiscus, and they just shoved a butt ton of chia seeds up in here. And so it's very healthy for you. It's talking about 4 grams of protein, omega-3s, fiber. I'm going to be pooping up a storm here in about 25 minutes. But actually, I'll wait until after the podcast if I can hold it. And so that's my gamer juice of the night. I'm excited for it. Nice glass bottle.
How's it taste, Adam? Looks gross.
No, you got to fight through the chia seeds. But the thing is, I like that little bit of texture. It could have more flavor, but I'm assuming because it's organic, it doesn't have any of that fake flavor that really helps bolster some of the other strong flavors that we taste in Rockstar or energy drinks or Pepsi. But it's good. It's a little worse than I thought it would be, but I enjoy it. It's vegan and gluten-free. So far, so good. So that's my gamer juice of the night. What are you sucking down there, Alex?
We're just hitting the repeat button. I made some iced coffee. I've kind of guzzled that a bunch. I made some SodaStream soda water. I'm nursing that, and then of course I'm hitting up the Soylent. This is my dinner tonight. It's some Soylent cafe coffee. So I'm going to be up all night drinking this. Speaking of chia seeds, Adam, I used to make my own Soylent, and that was one of the ingredients I had to throw in was chia seeds. Did you know that chia seeds, when you grind them up, make like a liquid that they're in really gelatinous, and it's almost kind of gross. So don't let that sit for too long. Try to drink it fast because it's going to turn into like a really difficult to swallow Jello. That's really disgusting. Really.
Oh, no, that's already it.
Then that's disgusting. I hated that when that would happen to my drink. Luckily, they avoid it with here. I guess whatever they use for fiber, it's not psyllium husk or chia seeds. But yeah, if you don't get the consistency just right, it makes you want to vomit. So moving on, I bet people are tired of hearing us talk about our drinks now.
Probably not, but I got other good blood to talk about because it's going to be a good podcast. It's going to be a good podcast. So this week, if I'm trying to work on a wall full of PSVR memorabilia, and part of that, I contacted a few people that asked for posters or swag, and like last week, we got a Dark Eclipse poster, and then this week, I got a Batman poster coming in. I have a Corix poster coming in. I don't have them quite yet. It was Wanacott sent me a Rick and Morty. So I got a poster there from the VR. But this week I talked to Labradex, and I was like, I just wanted a poster for the wall, dude. I want to create a cool little man cave. And they sent me a butt ton of stuff. So Alex and I are both wearing our Scraper shirts that Labradex gave us. I got a couple Scraper wall or posters on the wall. Got this little, like, whatever you call it. What's this thing?
Stress ball.
I'm telling you, I got shirts, mugs, frisbees. They absolutely loaded me up. So this podcast, if you like it, thank Labradex because they, I guess, could be the sponsor of this podcast. Love it.
Yeah. I'm kind of upset. I actually won a contest of theirs to win all of my swag, and I didn't get a coffee mug. And Adam doesn't even drink coffee. I drink coffee like a fiend, and I would love to drink coffee out of a Labradex mug, but they didn't send me one. I'm not bitter. I'm just a bit upset. They didn't send me a hat, but, my hair is so beautiful. I probably shouldn't be wearing a hat. Anyways, Adam is about, 2 sneezes away from male pattern baldness, so he should probably be putting a hat on pretty soon. But yeah, the game looks fun. I'm looking forward for the game coming out in PSVR. I know they're working really hard on it. Looks like a fantastic game. We're just happy to put the word out there, especially because if the game's bad, we don't know it yet. Shout out to Labradex. They got a great presence, and they're pushing their game hard, and they're supporting us with some swag. So Thanks for that, guys. Adam really needs more clothes. If you've seen his wardrobe, he needs help with this. So thanks for helping out, fighting the good fight.
That's right. So next, I'm going to just jump right into it. The Power A play of the week. We had this week's Golden Stream. If you're not sure, it's somewhat new. We have a Play PSVR Golden Stream every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern Time. And Alex got to play Ace Combat 7. And how about you tell us about the experience, Alex?
Yeah, so this is definitely the power play of the week. This is the best game to come out this week, bar none. The best game to come out 2019, bar none. I don't know if I want to say that about VR strictly, but I love Ace Combat. Let me tell you, the VR missions do not let you down, man. Okay. If you play it on easy mode, it's short. You're going to be done in 45 minutes, of course. The missions have a 15-minute time limit. You can burn through them pretty quickly if you're playing on easy mode. If you are playing on expert mode, you are going to have your hands full, especially if you're not experienced with Ace Combat. You're going to get a lot of flying. You're going to get a lot of downs. You're going to get a whole lot of action. And it's hard to say you're going to get $60 worth out of it, but Ace Combat is such a good game that the flat version must be played. And played in cinematic mode, it's going to kind of feel VR-ish when you play it. But for those who don't know, Ace Combat, it's not a strict flight simulator game. It's kind of an arcade dogfighting game. You're flying modern fighter jets. That's really fun. You get like 80 missiles on a loadout. That's unrealistic. And you're going to shoot down like 10, 12, 20 planes in one fight. That's unrealistic. But the game carries with it this like melodramatic story that it's almost like a story from an anime. It sounds stupid, but you get wrapped up in it for whatever reason. It's kind of filled with political intrigue, and you're just going to be dogfighting in the skies, launching missiles, shooting guns at guys, watching them go down, listening to the radio chatter. And that experience is bolstered even more in VR, because in VR, when you take damage, you start seeing things on your plane like catch on fire, and it really makes it dramatic. And when you're on an airplane, behind an airplane, and you're fighting them, and you launch missiles at them, and they blow up in your face, and you fly by the wreckage, your head turns to watch the wreckage explode. That doesn't happen in the flat game because you have to use an analog stick to look around, and so you never think to do it. You can't do it fast enough. When you wreck in Ace Combat VR, it is extremely startling. When you get shot down, it's extremely startling. It's a fantastic feeling, just a fantastic bit of immersion. The takeoffs, the landings, everything that you would imagine would be enjoyable in a fighter jet in VR is there. The graphics are sharp. The gameplay is sharp. You play with a DualShock, you're getting a good experience. You play it with a flight stick, you're getting a good experience. I can't say enough good things about this. The only downside to Ace Combat from a VR perspective is that you just have the 3 missions. Now, I have played it a bunch, and I'm pretty decent at Ace Combat, and I still haven't beat the 3rd mission. Keep getting my butt kicked. There's awesome stuff happening in this Ace Combat that other ones didn't have. There's like weather effects. You fly in the clouds and it fogs up your screen and stuff like that. And it feels really amazing in VR to have your field of view, get the water droplets and the condensation on your cockpit, and just looking around and being in the cockpit, seeing what it looks like to be inside one of these fighter jets. I'm gushing about it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just want to say this is a fantastic game. If you think you might play the flat version as well, then it's well worth $60. It's almost worth more than that. If you think you're just going to play the VR part, then $60 is going to be too much. But if you really want to fly a jet, then there's almost nowhere else to go, and this is the best experience doing that you can get. I love Ace Combat. Everything about it is great. They have all these nice little touches. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's not too complicated, and you're going to get in there and you're going to be blown away. So, Adam, I need to know, are you going to buy Ace Combat right now?
No.
You hurt me. Okay. All right. That's our power play of the week. Adam saying no to Ace Combat. No, get it. It's great.
I'm not paying that much money for, even if say it's more than 45 minutes. Obviously, if you play expert, say it's 3 hours. I'm not paying 3 hours for $60 freaking dollars. Like, I don't know. I'll find maybe a way to play it. I'll wait for it to be on sale or something. But okay, so from something that's very good, and I've been bringing the good vibes, well, let's tear it up. Let's tear it up, because the vein of my existence, the hatred that I have for this is, I can't even begin. Okay, so I finally finished floor 4 on 18 floors, and holy crap, let me tell you. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little impromptu airing of grievance. And here's the thing, guys. I know you're sick of me talking about 18 floors. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to get it all out now. I'm going to tell you something that if you have the game is essential to know. Otherwise, it actually is physically impossible to beat the game. And then I'm not going to mention it again. Unless if it's like a reference of what's the worst game you've played, obviously. But if I talk about it again after this episode, any viewer can make me play any game, and even if I don't have it, I will be forced to purchase it, and I will play it for however long. That is what I'm going to do for you because I know you're sick of hearing about 18 floors. But regardless, here's the thing. On floor 4, it took me 4 freaking ever to figure out how to do it. I actually had to contact – you should hear what I had to go through, Alex, to figure this out. But, I contacted 2 people, and they assisted me in defeating this level. So I get through. I figure out the one puzzle that I was unable to figure out because guess what? There's no reason for it. There's no hints. There's no logical explanation. Even knowing the answer, there is no way. It doesn't make any sense. And the person even said he randomly came across it. He has no idea why that's the answer. He was plugging in numbers and his process of elimination, and he finally got it. Regardless, I did everything. I got to the very end of the level, and you find, I'm just going to spoil it because no one's going to play it because it's a piece of trash. And if you do think of playing it, don't play it. You find a record, you put the record on a record player, it plays, and then a spirit comes out of the record player and opens the way for you to get out of the room. Well, the issue is I did everything perfectly, and yet there was no spirit coming out of the record. I bet I spent 2 to 2.5 hours after I knew the solution of it, figuring out, does it have to be in the right order? Does it have to be done a specific way? Am I missing something? Like, I went through everything to try to figure out, why is the spirit not coming out of the record player? The dude sent me a video of him doing it, and I saw that what I was doing was exactly right. Guess what the problem was, Alex? Just take a flying flipping guess.
You were playing the wrong side of the record.
No, eat a dick. You wish. Instead, these idiots, these freaking morons, the bona fide butt lovers, I don't know, you are so incompetent. I hate this game. I don't know who developed it. You're freaking stupid. It's not winking. They just published it. So, they can't do anything about it. But if you published it, you're a freaking moron. They added the DLC in which you had to go to the store and you had to install it. So it wasn't an automatic download. And so what I found out that you cannot beat the 4th floor until you delete the game entirely, reinstall the game, and then go in the store and reinstall the DLC. It is physically impossible. The spirit will not come out. And one guy, thank you, Harold047, this is what I had to do, Alex. I couldn't do it, and it was driving me nuts. I was spending too much time on it. So I looked up online. I forgot. I was just looking up a walkthrough because at that point I was desperate. I was like, I don't care. I'll cheat. I'll give someone a handy at this point. And then I found trophyhunters.com or something like that. And it listed all of the previous people who had gotten all the trophies. So I looked on there. I went through like 2 people. One of them was like Spanish, didn't speak English. The other one I couldn't friend because they didn't have the account settings set up to get friend requests from random people. But finally, Harold047 came up clutch, and K27, both of them combined. We talked about it and finally figured out, dude was like, well, it worked for me, and he had deleted the game and reinstalled it, and that's how some of the trophies popped up. So I did it and did the same thing, and then it worked. So anyhow, the bottom line is if you're playing 18 floors and you want to finish it, you have to delete the game entirely and reinstall it. How stupid is that? Have you ever heard of something that cockamamie, Alex?
I feel like that is it's almost like a sign, Adam. They're telling you outright, just delete the game, man. Just delete the game and move on with your life. And you fell for it. There's some of these crazy developers in Japan. They do crazy stuff. Like Hideo Kojima would do the cool stuff in Metal Gear where you have to unplug your controller and plug it into the second controller slot so the enemies couldn't read your movements, stuff like that. You have to, reset your console, or it would read data from your memory card and say cool stuff like that. So maybe these developers are more clever than we think. And that's like, it's supposed to feel spooky doing that, but if there's no hint to do it, it just sounds like broken programming. And that's really unfortunate. What I will say, Adam, is I think you've put more effort into this game that you supposedly hate than I've seen you put into any game. You streamed it, you also got more feedback from this game than I've seen you get for any other game. Just people commenting on your videos and you talking to people. What possessed you with this game to keep pushing, to keep trying to finish it? You hate it so much, but it's like something has a hold on you. Are you infected by 18 floors? Is the story good? Is it fun when things are working properly? What's going on?
There is no story, and I'm going to be honest. I would rather bang a woman named Dan before ever turning that game on again. It is the biggest piece of crap. I hate it. But here's the thing. One, I've had walkthroughs. Like, I want to finish it, And two, I feel like it's somewhat of a responsibility of yours and I that if anyone is going to waste time and put like a walkthrough up on there, I just want to help other people who are also helpless, because I felt what it is to be helpless, and it's horrible, especially on a game this bad. It's one thing if I'm playing Tetris Effect and I just straight up suck and I can't, double S a level. I'm not good. But this has nothing to do with skill, has nothing to do with anything about the user. It's just an absolute horrible game. And so I don't want other people to waste their time. I'm thankfully in a good position to spend more time than, say, you would be able to. And because we cover the games, I feel like somewhat that's my duty. So that's why I've done it. Like I said, it sucks. And I promise you, if there is an update with further floors, I will jump off the total number of floors that they have. So if they release another 2 floors, have 6 floors total, I go up 6 stories and I jump out the effing window because I'm done. I can't do it anymore. This is a horrible game. Please don't buy. And it's $15. It's $15.
I mean, this is it. If you lose the Platinum Challenge, Adam, you're going to have to play the next 18 floors. And I'll also call my friend Dan to come have a date with you. And you can dole out that handy that you're threatening to give out. Yeah, doesn't sound like a fun game. I'm glad I dodged that bullet, apparently.
At least for freaking Rabbit Hole and what's the other Planet? You got to play it for 20 minutes, say it sucks and it's not doable, and then quit. I have to keep suffering this. This is awful. Thankfully, they release 2 floors every 4 months, so at least I have a reprieve.
Oh, I can't wait for you to play the next one, Adam. This is going to be great. Moving on, I played another game. We got a physical copy of Smash Hit Plunder, so thanks to Wanacott for putting that out for us. Smash Hit Plunder is a game that, if it's already been out in Europe for a little while, so people might have already played it. But what it feels like is kind of like there was an Android game called Little Inferno, and all you did was you would grab things and you would burn them, and then you would buy new things from a shop like a toy store, and then you would burn those things, and you'd put things together and make combinations to just try to destroy stuff. There's not like a real challenge beyond just trying to be creative with how you're destroying stuff. Here in Smash Hit Plunder, the story is you inherited your grandmother's castle, I guess, or manor or house, and you're stuck in there and you can't keep it until you collect enough money to pay off your grandmother's debts. The way you collect money is you destroy things in the castle in these different rooms, and you collect the money that pops out. So there's like a vase, and I smash the vase against the wall, coins pop out. I collect those coins. If I get enough coins, like 600 or something like that, then I pass the level. I can move on to the next level. It's a really simple concept. Now, where it becomes fun is some of the games, there's like a puzzle almost. There's money hidden in different places. There's different ways you can interact with the environment. There's like a time limit that you have to try to get as much money as possible within. And so you're doing things. The first level, I was just looking for vases to smash because that's all I could think of to do. And then I realized, oh, look, here's like a big heavy pot that I can't break. It's a steel pot. I pick it up, and there's a fire burning underneath it. And then I go look in a basket. Oh, look, there's ears of corn. So I take all the corn and I dump it in the fire. And guess what? It makes popcorn. But with the popcorn also comes a whole lot of money. And so I get all that money. So there's almost like a puzzle-ish aspect to it. So that's really fun. I've only played it with the Move so far. You can play it with the DualShock. The controls, they're not great. You do just kind of like teleporting. There's smooth motion, smooth turning if you want that at least. And you're kind of just pointing, picking up things, and then banging them against the ground. I have a feeling that the more force you destroy something with, the more money you get from that. So like if I just drop a vase, it'll drop like a silver coin. If I really slam it against the wall, I might get like a silver and a gold coin, just extra stuff. There's little critters and stuff. If you kill them, you get more coins. So there's a puzzle-ish feel to each level where you're trying to figure out, okay, what's a secret way that they're really going to give me the money that'll put me to the top ranking of this level? The game graphically is, I don't want to say unimpressive. It's like 8-bit. It's really pixelated. It looks retro. But what that means is that the gameplay is really smooth. The graphics are really smooth. At the very beginning of the game is kind of neat because you're standing in front of a mirror and you see yourself in front of the mirror and you kind of move your head and watch yourself move around. That's interesting. They can do fun things like that when they're not doing crazy graphical feats, and they stick to this basic interface, basic graphical style. The game's not anything crazy. It's kind of what you see is what you get. Watch some trailers, see if it sounds fun. I was actually surprised at how fun I thought it was, how much fun I had with it. Adam, I think you played a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I can't take enough of it. I can't take any more of this bull crap. Listen, the game's not good, Alex. What are you doing? Okay, first of all, no, it's not graphically impressive. It's graphically sucky. It doesn't look good. Even the fact that, okay, it's like Minecraft graphics, it's blurry. It sucks. It is awful.
It's not blurry. It wasn't blurry for me, but I have good eyes, and Adam has bad eyes because he's old.
Dude, it did not look good. I don't care what you say. It did not look good. The controls aren't good. The DualShock wasn't easy to use, and the Move controllers are better, but the way you rotate is stupid. I don't like it. 2, it's a really fun idea. I will give you it. The concept is awesome. All you do is effing smash stuff and collect coins and all gems and all that stuff. But the thing is, they didn't nail it. The only thing of the game is to smash stuff, and they didn't nail it. It's sometimes painful to pick stuff up. It's hard to really smash stuff sometimes. Like, I absolutely throw a vase against a wall, and sometimes it just dribbles on the floor and doesn't even break.
Yeah.
That's really annoying. I don't know. I know you haven't got a chance to play the game as much as I have. How far have you gotten? How many levels have you played?
I've gotten like 3 or 4 levels deep, so I'm really not terribly far into the game, I'll admit. So this is not a full review. These are just early impressions. I'll be writing a full review as I finish the game.
Yeah. Okay. So another complaint I have is once you haven't hit it yet, but there's some levels that unlock when you get enough crowns. Essentially, you do the level, and depending on how much money you earn, it gives you crowns. Some levels you have to have a certain amount of crowns. And once you get to that point, you realize how stupid, I don't want to say unfair, but I guess you could just say it's difficult, how difficult it is to get 3 crowns, which you need to unlock some of the levels. Like, it's absurd. I played the first level maybe, I don't know, 4 times, and it's the first level and I can't get 3 crowns.
Did you do the popcorn thing?
I didn't do popcorn thing.
See, that's what to get the 3 crowns, you're gonna have to find the trick that gives you the crowns. Like in the second,
I ate all the popcorn, and that gives you a buttload of points.
Oh, you can eat it? I didn't know that. See, this is cool.
I didn't know you could put popcorn.
See, this is something
I like that, but
this is something cool. I think is we're both discovering things about this game. There's a lot of experimentation, room for experimentation in this game that I think is fun. You're right. I did think it was disappointing how you're supposed to smash stuff, but the smashing isn't extremely visceral. And sometimes you kind of swing stuff and it doesn't have the velocity you expect it to, or you try to impart. You even, like in the first level, did you pick up the hammer? I don't know how I'm supposed to use the hammer. Like,
I don't think you do.
You think I could hold it and really just bash stuff with it? That would be great. And I kind of did that in the second level with like a drumstick. But it doesn't. I wish the hammer would just become my hand. One neat thing, the game reminds me of Luigi's Mansion a bit, the way you're sucking up coins and breaking stuff in different rooms. I just kind of thought it was kind of a nice little shout out to Luigi's Mansion in that regard. But it's not as good as Luigi Mansion, of course. That's a classic game out there. I'm enjoying the game. You know, we'll see how my opinion changes as I get deeper into it. Sounds like Adam's had more time and he's really annoyed. But Adam is less forgiving with these kind of games than I am, I believe.
The thing is, you just haven't gotten to the point where it's too repetitious. It gets repetitious, and it's just not that fun. That's the issue. Like, after you play it for an hour, hour and a half, you're like, ugh. But that's where I'm at. Okay. So the final game I want to talk about, and this is very quick, is because I've already talked about Beat Saber. Alex, Beat Saber is so good. Somehow, the more I play it, the more I like it. I don't really understand how that works. But so I'm getting to the point where I'm very good at hard mode now. Mm-hmm. Like I can breeze through it. So now I've began on expert modes, and dude, let me tell you, so I'm at the point, and I want some advice from fans, because I was like, when I first started, expert was just way too hard. They came at you too fast, and there obviously more blocks and the combinations were more complicated. I just couldn't do it. So what I decided to do was go and slow the song down. And then do it. But then I was like, then if you get a long song, it's like I'm playing for like 7 minutes. That's painful. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do it so that I can't fail. That way I get used to the speed. I can practice. So I did that for a little bit. And I'm to the point where I'm good enough for most of the level to get by. But each level gives you a little chunk of really complicated combinations that I can't get, and then I lose because you have a life bar essentially. You can't make that many errors. And it's on almost every level has one section that I can't complete, and I lose. So I don't know if it's just eventually I'll get good enough or if it's practice, but I don't want to keep playing the same songs over and over. But anyhow, if you are on expert mode, give me some advice on the best way. It may just be practice and doing what I am now, but regardless, even when I do lose, dude, it's so fun. I feel like a boss when you nail all of the combinations and all the blocks. It's so cool. The biggest issue is, especially on expert mode, when you make a mistake, it's hard to recover. Because, for example, if you have a row of blue blocks coming and it's, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, but you mess up.
You mess up the first one, then you mess up everyone after.
Exactly. Yeah. And then boom, you do that, you're done. There's no recovery. So that's what I'm struggling with. I mean, it's obviously easy to be like, "Oh, Adam, don't miss the first one." But they're coming at you so quick that you're bound to make a mistake, and it seems that once you do, boom, it's over. So I don't know. Maybe it's expert mode. Maybe it really is just don't mess up. But
So I have experience with the Guitar Hero series and Rock Band. I played those a lot. I got pretty good at it. I could play in expert mode for most of the songs, but not all of them. And the way you get better is just you can either focus on getting 100% on the hard mode, like getting all the songs perfect on hard mode. But I think that's not as good because it doesn't get you used to the speed. So I think really the thing is you just got to keep playing the same song over and over again. And it's like each song becomes a challenge in and of itself. It doesn't sound fun, but that's how you do the expert stuff. That's how I learned to play songs in expert mode in Guitar Hero. I played Beat Saber more, and I'm having the opposite effect. I thought it was really fun the first time I played it, but the more I play it, the more I play it, the more I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I'm not feeling it. I play through. I do decently well. I'm having a decent time playing it.
Are you in like medium or hard?
I'm hard. I play through on hard on the free play mode, but it's just like almost all the songs all sound really similar, or I just don't really care about the songs that much. Sometimes I get in the groove and I'm like, all right, this is really fun, but I really hate the upswing I hate the way it feels to do it. Yeah, maybe my tracking is off or the height is off or something like that. I don't know. I just really hate that upswing. I feel like I have to like scoop under, and it doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel smooth, and it's in there so much. And I don't know. I play it. I play it a bunch. I just don't seem to be getting the feeling that everybody else is getting. It almost sounds.
You're destroying blocks. Like, I don't understand how.
I don't know, man. It doesn't jive with me. Maybe I need to play it more. Maybe I need to find like those 2 songs I really like or something. I play it. I kind of enjoy it, but I don't see what the fuss is about, man. I don't really get it. And this is coming from somebody who loves these like rhythm action games like that. But man, this game got hyped, and it's just the more I play it, the more I'm like, if I'd never played it again, I'd probably be okay.
You're stupid. Oh, by the way, yeah, Francesca?
Yeah.
He told me
Francesco.
in the email that what?
Francesco.
What'd I say?
Francesca. That's a girl's name.
Well, maybe I'd bang a woman named Francesca too. Who knows? Regardless, he told me that he thinks that Tetris Effect sucks too. So I'm not the only one, baby. Woo, woo. So that's right. Like, Beat Saber is your Tetris.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think it might be my Tetris Effect happening, although I think I like Beat Saber more than you like Tetris Effect. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to keep coming back to Beat Saber over time. It's just,
I think it's so easy to play 20 minutes, and that's it. I mean, I have to turn the heat off and open the window so I can play it more than like 3 rounds without sweating like an animal. But okay, anyhow, so that was my Beat Saber. So if you guys have suggestions on how I could better prepare for expert mode and complete them without losing, because it's really annoying, let me know. And another thing we also wanted to mention right now, because we actually wanted to mention it now because I don't understand low odds. So according to podcast analytics are confusing, but what we found, according to these analytics, of course, say that pretty much once we hit the 3rd segment, our listenership goes down. So what we essentially want is the entire podcast to be engaging and fun and interesting. So if there's something in that 3rd segment that isn't good, not vibing, sucks, let us know and we'll change it up. It may just be maybe you got the work, so you turn it off. Or we imagine maybe some of the sales, if you're not in North America, it doesn't pertain, so you turn it off. I don't know. But be in contact with it if you want to hear something, or if you want to change some of the segments, any of that stuff. We want to hear from you. And like Francesco, we appreciate it. And we got another shout out at the end of the episode too. Woo! So that's what I got.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Adam said, just let us know. Kind of the squeaky wheel gets the grease, you know. We don't know if we're doing good or not unless you guys tell us, and we don't know if we're doing something terrible. Somebody let us know about last episode. Adam screwed up on the production, made it sound like somebody was typing all episode. You know what? Please forgive us for that. Wasn't in charge of the editing of the last episode, so I'm sorry you guys had to suffer through those noises.
Okay. It wasn't the editing. It was the recording software. That's never happened. And I heard it, but I thought Duquesne was typing. So I was like, I can't in the middle of the podcast be like, dude, quit typing. So I was just like, hopefully it's not that pronounced. And it ends up that he wasn't typing from what he said. So then I don't know what happened.
So it's Adam's fault, guys.
Forgive us for that. I got to take the blame on that one. That was my B, but it won't happen again. Because if I hear it, now I know that, okay, everyone else can hear it if I can hear it.
All right. Well, that's the end of the first segment. We got JDMAX coming in. We're going to talk to him about some Gran Turismo. We're going to talk to him about some flight sticks, some hot ass, some steering wheels and stuff like that. We're going to get into some Ace Combat, and he's just an overall good dude. So stay tuned. See you after the break, and we'll get this discussion rolling.
All right, welcome to segment 2 of Play PSVR, the podcast. So we got a special treat because we got JD in the house.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Oh, this is
Thanks
a long
for having
time
me.
coming. We've been trying to get this guy on for a while, and this hasn't happened. But
Yeah.
first off, I want to know, JD, we talked about our gamer juices. We were pretty excited about ours. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, I usually drink every night when I get home. I gotta pan down one of these rock stars, man. I'm a huge energy drink guy, especially with doing the VR and stuff. It's always nice to have an extra kick before diving in. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Love it.
Alex, where does Rockstar rank in your list of energy drinks?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You can get Rockstar with a lot of the caffeine and stuff like that, but that's the one you kind of find it cheap in stores sometimes, and I kind of feel weird carrying a Rockstar can around. Just I feel like I'm fitting some kind of stereotype or something like that. But it was my go-to for a long time. They make a really good energy lemonade that's like 0 calories.
And that's the one that's non-carbonated, right?
Yeah, I would, and that's dangerous because I could drink like 4 without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Lemonade?
Yeah, Rockstar Energy Lemonade, man. It's.
Yeah. If you see a yellow Rockstar can, that's the one.
Okay.
Well, yellow in, yellow out, man.
Oh. I like that.
Yellow out, nice, but sterile coming out.
Mm-hmm. Try it again, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think I first met JD, I think it was on Twitch when he streams all the time. I was watching a couple of his streams. And one thing, if I know anything about him, is that he loves Gran Turismo. In VR, he plays all the time, loves it. And the thing, so JD, this week I talked to somebody and they told me, because I personally don't have Gran Turismo yet, but they told me that game in PSVR was average, probably not worth my time. I know you love it. So I want you to convince me, should I buy it? Should I agree with this fool? Or what emotions bubble up?
I mean, that's a loaded question because for me, now, I hope I don't take a lot of your guys' time, but for me, if anyone knows me, day one, I was a hardcore anticipator of GT Sport when I first got the PSVR. It's on the box, it's in the back of the box. I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted. And so I was super hyped for it coming out. All of us were. And as, the time came and it was starting to get released, there was more reports coming out of it, kind of like, well, is it going to have multiplayer? Is it not going to have multiplayer? And so when I found out it wasn't going to have multiplayer, I was a hardcore just, F this game. I can't believe this happened. I was just a constant, just anti-GT Sport. I called it like the biggest travesty of PSVR to date because everyone was just so hyped about that game, coming in VR. And so what happened was, I think it was last year around the Days of Play sale, I picked it up. It was like $20. I'm like, well, I mean, for $20, I got to at least try this, I know it's only, at the time, it was only just the 1v1 with the AI. And so downloaded it, plugged it in, and, I had the Pro. And so you switch it, you have the option to switch the graphics to, you want to focus on the frame rate, or do you want to focus on the actual just, the graphics itself. And so the Pro can handle just focusing on the graphics, and it's awesome. It was a great experience. I had a lot of fun with it. But what I think, me personally, GT Sport is supposedly like the real driving simulator. That's what they say. And so the misconception is for now, me playing it for so long, I realized that the VR is an enhancement for the game. And so what happened is I dove. I've if you guys watched, you've noticed that I'm not really on Twitch that much anymore because I have literally just dived into this community, the GT Sport community, and I've realized that the VR has helped me bring my times down. I mean, incredibly. And so like I'm like really ranking up there with racing with the real like top 20, top 50 players, in the US or whatnot. And being able to utilize the VR in to practice, that is really, I think, what GT Sport was trying to do in the very beginning. Was like, hey, we're going to give you this option to jump into any car that we have, except for maybe like 1 or 2 cars that you can't really, there's no cockpit mode for it. You know, even on the flat version, you can't see the cockpit. You can only do like the bonnet cam or the hood cam. So those ones you can't do, but 99.9% of the cars are in VR. Every track that is on the game is in VR. And so what they were trying to do was, you know, real racers train in VR. That's just a fact now. That's most sim racers, they practice on VR, and even like Lewis Hamilton, they're in VR. They train in VR. They train with the normal sims, and it helps them. It makes them. You could see the track. As the racer, you could see the apexes, you could see everything. And so when you dive into it and you practice, and then you get off of it and you play against other people, it's amazing. I mean, that's why I love it so much, because it just enhances the gameplay, because you can really study the tracks. You can, you could see where the apexes are. You could see where you need a trail break. It's just amazing. I mean, if you're gonna go into it thinking like it's just for gameplay, like, well, I just want to play and I want to race. I mean, yeah, then GT Sport's probably not the thing for you in VR. But if you're a GT Sport enthusiast and you love GT Sport from like way back in the day, this enhances the game, in my opinion, because like I said, every track, and it's not like, some of those games that we've seen in VR where they support a little bit of the VR, but then they don't continue on with it. Every update that this game has, they include all the tracks in the new cars VR supported. So, they had, what was the last track they did was the Tokyo Speedways. All the new Speedways that came out, all in VR, day one. You didn't have to wait for it. So it gives me hope, because they want to keep supporting the VR, but I personally think maybe the PS4 doesn't have the power yet to do what it is that he wants to do. And so my big thing is, I think when the PS5 hopefully comes out, we're going to see full multiplayer with this game. So that's why I love it so much. Anyways, I know it was a kind of a long-winded thing, but that's just where I'm coming from, because I just absolutely love this game. I do. It's amazing. So,
yeah, you're going crazy on that game. And yeah, I played a lot of Gran Turismo when I was younger. I played like the first one like crazy on the PlayStation. And to me, it makes perfect sense to have Gran Turismo, just at least have most of the cars in VR. Because Gran Turismo to me was less of a racing game and more of like a car museum, interactive car museum. And so you get the tracks and you get the cars. And really, I never wanted to play multiplayer. I'm not a huge multiplayer guy, and so I'm not crying without it. And if you can do time trialing and stuff with VR on,
and that's pretty much what you're doing. Even in the flat version, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna qualify. You're gonna try and get this track down, and you're by yourself. So with this, you are literally on the track. You can smell the track. That's just how good it is. You're sitting there. You're just like, oh man, I'm on Nürburgring. This is amazing. And I'm in my Porsche, and you get to, and not only is just the graphics good, just seeing the horizon, in my opinion anyway, the car detail and everything. It's just, you can't get that in any other, and it's you can like fully turn around. You could see, the detail is just amazing. I enjoy it. It's awesome. And that's literally what I've been playing probably 90% of the time now, as opposed to some of the other stuff coming out. But,
So in VR, we've got Drive Club, we've got Wipeout. I think Radio G is also a racing game. We got Gran Turismo. Would you have a preference or recommendation for someone, like which of those games to try out or play if you're going to play maybe one racing game? What's your thought there?
So if you're gonna buy the VR just strictly for the VR, like, hey, like I it's at the time for me it was $500. I was like, I want to use my investment as much as I can. I definitely would go for the more arcadier type stuff. We got the Drive Club, the Wipeout, Radial G. I wouldn't even bother with that. That the multiplayer kind of, I think died day one. There wasn't really anyone even playing the game when it came out, and it was pretty expensive too right off the bat. But if you're more of the sim, I would go directly to Dirt Rally. So that's another great. That game's fully in VR, and it's a challenge. But once you get it, and you learn it, it's pretty fun. Nice. That's my choice for that.
All right, nice. Alex has been trying to get me to buy it for.
There's no reason you should. They're practically giving away the game. At some points, the sales have been just incredible on that end.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so I see right now it's impossible not to see. you gotta you have a racing wheel right there in front of you.
I do.
So what I want to know is there've been a lot more rumors of different peripheries and accessories for the PSVR coming out. So which accessories do you have, I guess, first of all?
So I have the wheel, I have the HOTUS, I have the Move controllers. I think, what other peripherals are there for this thing?
You get the aim controller, but
Oh yeah,
we're really just
controller, have that. Yeah, I got that.
I think we're really just talking about wheels and the flight stick. I don't know if there's anything else yet.
No, yeah, wheels and flight stick. Out of the two, I mean, I think VR is perfect for wheel, and so I'm a huge fan of racing right now in the VR. It's I think it's like the best way to experience racing is just through VR. It's awesome.
Dude, which wheel would you recommend? Because I've wanted to buy one, but I guess I just haven't yet.
Okay, so I went. This is my second wheel. So the first one I had, thanks to Seraphim 190, he actually at the time he bought a G29, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm just gonna give this away. You want it?" And he sent me a Thrustmaster 100 from Australia. And
Wow.
it was awesome. It was worked perfectly. That was my first experience being in any type of race game in VR with the wheel, not having a controller. It was fun. So the next step was a T150. So that would be like my best starting, because they don't even make the T100s anymore. So the T150 would be like the first thing I would get. It's a really reasonable price. It's always on sale, and it has force feedback. So it's one of the you want a wheel. If you're going to experience VR, you want something with force feedback. So because you can really, the game kind of enhances. So you could feel the slip, you can feel the road. You could get that realism of how the car is actually working during the game. So.
Yeah, that's something I was going to ask you is it worth getting a wheel if it doesn't have force feedback? Is it worth getting a peripheral if it doesn't have force feedback? Because for me, like, especially games with the Move, just a little bit of vibration makes a big difference.
Yeah,
and then
I agree.
Especially in a racing game, like you said, you can feel the wheel if you can feel like the slip and stuff like that with feedback. So
yeah, definitely. I would say yes, of course, if you have a VR set. I actually was talking to a friend a while back too. He was so excited, got a wheel, and I asked him, what was it? And it was a T80, and the T80s don't have force feedback, so he didn't even know wheels had force feedback. So I, told him, you really need to go and get this. So he tried it, and then realized, like, yeah, it's not fun in VR. It's not fun if you don't have that immersive haptic feedback in some way. You lose that immersion. And so yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get a wheel, make sure it has force feedback on it.
Does your Thrustmaster or your flight stick, does that have force feedback? Do they make those with force feedback?
Okay, so, and I just found that out. So the one that I have and the one that is being sold through PlayStation, the T4, that's what I have here, the T4 HOTUS.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, but it has, the throttle has the ability to kind of wind it up a little bit. The stick itself, so you can kind of feel a little bit of tension. It helps out a little bit, but they do offer, like, Thrustmaster does have a Warthog system that has the vibrating. No, is it Hori? I think Hori is the one that has the vibration feedback. It's not force feedback. It's like a vibration feedback.
That's good enough for me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into it in just a minute, I think.
No idea that they even had that, and so I'm just like, wow, that would be pretty cool to have. But so just something else on the list for later, I guess.
No, it's good that you mentioned, because as I'm looking at flight sticks and racing wheels, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably like most people, where I'm going to go and I'm going to get, say, a racing wheel, and I'm going to probably find a good compromise between price and, I guess, quality. So I'm probably going to lean more towards the lower price one, and I'm assuming between the T80 and the T150, the 80 is definitely cheaper. So I would have probably gone with that one, not realizing the force feedback. And then, like you mentioned, it really reduces the experience.
I mean, it really does. Like I said, you can feel the braking, the slip, the understeer, oversteer. It's pretty cool. I'm like, I had no idea that gaming has gone this far until I got the VR. I was like, wow, they actually have peripherals for the PlayStation that actually do this. So it's definitely something I would recommend. And I think the T80, they usually sell it for around $100, but I've seen the 150 as low as, $150. I mean, like for $50 more, you get the pedals as well. So it's not just the wheel, you get pedals. So you have pedals. And so there are pedals now that actually have feedback as well. So
Dude, that's
you can feel
nice.
yeah. So it's crazy, man.
I'm looking forward to actually just eschewing the whole steering wheel and the flight stick. I'm going to play Gran Turismo completely with the 3D rudder. That's my game plan. Just steer entirely with my feet. Yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works. It could be used as a throttle. Why not? I mean, it's just you're going to be doing this anyway, so that's pretty much what throttles do. So
I'm gonna hold the 3D rudder up in the air and turn it like that. That's gonna.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's impressive.
That's funny. So, what games have you played with the flight stick?
Okay, so I have been currently just been playing nothing but Ace Combat when I'm not racing. So just Ace Combat. And not only just Ace Combat, but just like hardcore Ace Combat. So if you get the game and if you finally are like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna buy it $60. Fine, okay, I'll get it. Just set everything to expert. Just go expert controls, expert difficulty, and I have put almost 3.5 hours just in one mission alone right now, because it's just, you only have the difficulty settings make it to where like you're on a time limit now, and you only have a certain amount of flares, a certain amount of ammo, and so now it's more of a strategic thing, and you get a lot more gameplay once you just put the difficulty, just slap it up there, no big deal. I mean, they'll like I said, the only thing is just you got to get used to the controls, which you'll definitely get used to, and just having that extra difficulty layer definitely extends it. So people are saying like 45 minutes. It took me 45 minutes to play the 3 missions. Well, you probably had it on easy. I mean, like you don't want to. Just hardcore VR guys, just set it to hard, no problem. You'll be fine. But like I said, you'll just get a lot more content from it.
Yeah, it's like saying, Firewall 0 Hour. I beat it in 30 minutes because you just played the single player or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, why? I mean, I think of VR as like a dessert. You gotta savor it, like you don't sit there and just go. You gotta go, so good. That's how this is. That's how Ace Combat is. You don't wanna just dive in like that. You just wanna slowly just take it, and you know what? Oh, I'll start it over again. Oh, darn. Let me try that again. It's so much fun taking off. I mean, and just seeing you're in the cockpit. I'm Maverick. That's what I feel like. I'm Maverick. That's what I felt like. It's awesome. It's incredible. If any of you guys haven't had it, which I'm sure all of you guys have Ace Combat, right?
I have it. Adam doesn't, and I'm trying to talk him into it. But
oh my god!
I think what you're saying is a really good point, and it's kind of interesting. We all want the entire game to be in VR. It's a fantastic game. The flat version, I haven't played a flat game in a while, but this one demands to be played, especially because I dropped $60 on it.
Oh yes.
But the fact that you just have the 3 missions and then the free play going into it, like I need to make this count. I need to make this last. And so you're really, I don't know, it's kind of honed me in and made me focus on the missions and the experience. And to a degree, I think I get more out of it, which it's stupid. It's kind of a stupid thing for me to say that I'm getting more because there's less, but to a degree, I kind of feel like I am. Like I'm really, like you said, savoring what they've given us. And the time I have in the air flying these planes, I'm trying to do like cool and crazy stuff that I maybe wouldn't do if I knew I had 40 missions ahead of me to try it out. That being said, yeah, I'm stuck on the 3rd mission. I got everything set on expert, and I have like a A10C, which is like a tank gunner or something like that, and I'm trying to fight these drones, and it is impossible. Yeah, it's impossible, and so I'll spend hours on it.
You're gonna spend hours. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people won't tell you that, and so. I don't know. I'm a big proponent of just, what? I mean, it's $60. You go out with the wife, you go spend some money at the bar, you go to the movie. You're going to spend that in like a few hours. So, yeah. I mean, just for that price, you can get into a jet anytime you want. That's how I feel like. I'm going to go hang out in my F-15. I'll see you guys later because, I mean, it's amazing. It really is. It is cool. Once you take off, it's like you have full control. You can do whatever you want. And it's awesome. So I enjoy it. It's great. If you have a HOTAS, of course, it's me personally, I think it's a huge immersion, accelerator. But I have not tried it on the DualShock yet. But I just use the HOTAS. So.
Oh, nice. What did you think about the 2, Alex? Because you've done both, right?
Yeah. So this is our point of difference here, JD. So I have played, Ace Combat 4. I didn't play the first 3. I played 4 and 5 and 0 and 6, all with controllers. And so I'm really used to how the game plays. I play with expert controls, but I'm used to how the game plays with the controller. And I've never played any game with the flight stick. I played a little bit. I got the one flight stick for VR. I forget which one it is, but it was like $30 on Amazon not long ago. So again, I'm going for the cheaper one, so that might have an effect. But I'm finding that I have a more immersive experience with the DualShock. And this sounds so dumb, but I think it's because when I'm playing with the DualShock and Ace Combat, I don't have like a connection, a break in the connection between what I want to do and what I can actually do, because I'm trying to fiddle with the new controller. Instead, it's like the DualShock is like a direct link to what my brain's hoping I can make happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm less worried about like, oh, is my flight stick going to fall off the table or something like that? Or am I hitting the right buttons? And I'm more focused on like, okay, I need to roll and then drop the shaft and then fire off a missile and then get ready to shoot the gun. So yeah, I'm not finding a super enhanced amount of immersion, and it might just be my bad setup. I don't have my flight stick glued to anything or nailed to anything. And so when I'm playing, it always threatens to wobble a little bit.
I see.
And also, I really suck at the flight stick too, so that might be part of the problem as well.
Half the battle is knowing, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
That's right. Yeah, watch our golden stream this week, and he really sucked it up.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having my back.
Pretty well until, was it the second or third mission, and you just died and died.
It was the third mission. I just kept getting rocked. But and that's the other thing with the DualShock. It has the vibration built in. We were just talking about force feedback.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
I think that helps out a lot with the immersion. So there's the immersion in the fact that what you think you want to do, you can just do immediately without having to worry about the controls. And then the second thing is you have the force feedback. Now, if they make a Thrustmaster controller with force feedback, that might help out a lot. I'd imagine it would be heavier too. So some of that wobble that I'm worried about would be less of an issue. And, if you go full bore with this, of course, you're going to have a way better experience. And, if I suddenly get rich, I might do that. But we'll see. It, regardless, however you want to play it, it's a fantastic game. And it's just going to double the life of it. I play through the 3 missions in DualShock and then play through the 3 missions with with a flight stick, and then play through the 3 missions with a 3D rudder, and I've got my money's worth right there.
Not only that, but like you get all these, you get we get extra ships or planes, and so you can play again with different planes. I mean, it's going to be a whole different setup. So people don't talk about that when games come out. They're just like, oh, it only takes like 45 minutes, man. This game sucks. Like, no, like you're not like play the game. It's like let it like really, really try it. It's really good. I think it's great. I'm hoping the DLC when it comes out, because in the beginning they were saying there was going to be 5 missions, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So there's this huge debate. Well, the 5 missions were the 2 were the free flight and the air show. Those were the other 2. But some people are saying in the DLC that they took out 2 and they put them in the DLC packs. So I'm hoping that there's 2 more missions sitting there somewhere.
I'm an idiot. I'll buy it day one. I know it's bad. I know it's like predatory business practices on gamers, but I'll still buy it because it's just Ace Combat's so good. And another thing I want to say, have you played it in cinematic mode? Have you played the main flat game in cinematic mode yet?
I haven't played it in the VR in cinematic mode. I played it on the screen, and it's wow. It is really good. It is beautiful.
It's an amazing game. I played on my TV and stuff, but I was really surprised. It's one of the few cases of a game that I think might be better in cinematic mode than on the TV, because the way when you play Ace Combat is you just have, it's like there's almost no HUD to deal with if you play in a certain view. So there's nothing on the screen to deal with. And so sure, you can't look around the cockpit, which you kind of stop doing anyways, or at least I do a bit. But playing in cinematic mode, you're wrapped around it. What you would see normally is still wrapped around you. So I think
try that.
Yeah, it's really fun. If you're one of those guys like Adam who refuses to play a flat game, you might be able to get like a not full VR but like a half VR experience out of the rest of Ace Combat by playing in like that full wraparound cinematic mode that they have. I love the game. I think everybody should play it. I'm such a goober for
I think honestly, I think if you want to wait for a sale, I get it, but you have to at least try this. This takes the VR to another level, in my opinion, because I'm glad I waited this. I'm glad it took them this long to get it out, because it's a beautiful game. It really is. The 3 missions are they're incredible. So,
Adam, hearing us talk about the VR, the limited VR at least, what would you pay just off the bat? What would you pay to just get the VR mission if they sold it standalone? How much would you be willing to pay at this point?
Probably because it seems so incredible and what I've seen has been nothing but exemplary. I would probably pay $20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a fair price. The way I think it's a fair price is like, I personally would say maybe 15 is what you would want to, what they should do. And then of course they're going to bump it up because there's like the Sony tax or whatever that you're going to have to pay. But especially you, Adam, you're somebody who likes to showcase VR and get other people playing it. Ace Combat's another one of those games. It's like, you have got to try this.
Yeah, I equate it to like, the first time you put it on ever and you boot up the first game you ever played and the butterfly effect you get in your belly, you're just like, oh my God. That's what I felt with Ace Combat. That feeling again, like this is the first time my body's really experiencing sitting in an actual jet, and so my body was thinking, "You're in this jet." So the feeling of euphoria of just kind of like I'm somewhere else. I'm not in my room right now. I'm somewhere off the coast of Asia somewhere. That's what I was feeling the whole time. It's great. I think $20 perfect. I mean, if they were going to sell it separately, I think that's a fair price, but I would just buy it anyway.
Yeah,
so it's playing it over and over again. No joke. It's fun.
It's a popular game, so it came out physical right off the bat. So one, you're probably going to get people reselling it on like eBay and stuff for cheap here in a little bit. Yes. It's probably going to go on digital for cheap here in a bit because they're going to be wanting to sell DLC and stuff. So they're going to sell the main game cheap, like Resident Evil 7 now you can get for $20 or less. But Adam, if you're concerned about like you really don't want to play the flat game, you don't want to spend too much money, go to a Redbox, man. Rent the game for $4.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Play it all night and then return it the next day. You'll get your full money's worth. I read all the listeners out there too. If you're on the fence about this, go try to rent it somewhere. It's in physical form now, so you should be able to get it. Do GameFly, do Redbox, something like that. Yeah, or that's a great idea. Not entirely ethical. Just buy the game and then return it the next day and see what.
There are some VR streamers that have already done that because they wanted Resident Evil 2, so they traded it in for Resident Evil 2. I'm like, nice.
Okay, well, as our time starts to wind down here, JD, I want to know in 2019, what are you most excited for? I mean, I know right now you said you're playing a whole lot of Ace Combat and you're playing a whole lot of Gran Turismo. So that's what you're doing now, but what are you looking forward to? What are you excited about?
In 2019, honestly, I'm really excited for, I want to see Seeking Dawn. That was something that I was really, really wanting to check out. It didn't get a lot of good reviews on Steam, but I'm hopeful they have learned what to fix and they're going to bring that over to the Sony side because they're actually still working on it. And Dirt 2.0. A lot of people are pushing for no VR, no buy, but I always tell them like, hey, the first Dirt Rally came out in 2015 and then the VR port for it came out almost a year and a half later. So if they do that, then I'm cool. But, as it stands right now, I don't think it's going to come out for VR right away, but they haven't said no completely. So we'll see. But if that could come out on VR too, that would be amazing.
Do you think it's going to happen? Because I really want it to happen, but I don't have high hopes.
They have not come out and said, hey, this isn't going to happen, guys. They have just been hush about it. They're not going to answer it. They're not going to say anything. They just are saying, day one, don't expect it. But they have not clearly said, no, this is not going to happen. So we'll see, because the demand is just growing. The more that they keep posting on Twitter or Reddit, everyone is just going hashtag no VR, no buy. Tons of people are making petitions and like, please just make this game like you did with Dirt Rally, please, please, please. So, the demand is there. But the thing is, they need to make their money, and I get it. So they're probably just kind of, seeing what's going to happen. But the hype for the game so far is pretty big. And hopefully, I'm just hoping they do the right thing because it would be pretty awesome.
My big hope is that they're saving it for Dirt 2.0 VR for PlayStation 5 or PSVR 2.
And that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking the same thing. Maybe they're just going to wait until the new PlayStation comes out and like go, hey, you go guys, full VR. What do you think?
Right.
So,
They have the tech. They've done it before. Maybe it's more
done
work
it
than I think.
before, yeah.
And Bandai Namco with Ace Combat, they have the tech now. They've done it. Just
it's the proof of concept is already there. Just
Yeah.
keep adding more missions. Just keep it going, please. But the problem is the VR missions happened 5 years before the main game.
Yeah.
That's the storyline, right? So they kind of have to, if they're going to keep doing it, they're going to have to try and like figure another story out or something. But I don't know. I just I'm hoping we see more full VR games when the the new PlayStation eventually comes out. So.
Yeah.
No doubt. Dude, how far away do you think it's going to be? PS5?
Some people are saying 2020. Some people are saying 20, even this year. But I don't. Me personally, I don't know. I mean, how long has PS4 been out? Since it's been what, 5 years now?
But I think we're coming up on 5 years, maybe just past 5 years. I would say March 2020 is my guess.
Yeah. So usually 6-7 years is what I've seen when they come out with something else. But I would say 2020. I would say 2020. Yeah.
The fact that PS4 is still selling so well, I think, is actually detrimental to those of us who want PS5 sooner. Because if the sales have died off, they may be a little bit more inclined to hurry up. But it's still selling well. Still games are coming out for it, like great games, exactly. So they have no reason to rush. So they're going to take their time. And
one thing I just hope they do is they just incorporate the fact that, hey, we can use the V1 and V2 versions of the headset on the PS5. I mean, I would think that would be like something of a standard. Like, hey guys, look, we just rolled this thing out. We're going to need to eventually cross this over. So I'm hoping that they're going to allow the crossplay of the headsets at least.
I like that. And I was thinking of that too. The downside is that would mean that the tracking wouldn't be improved, right? Because then it would still be camera-based tracking. And for next generation of VR, I really want better tracking. So,
from what I've seen, I mean, you're right, and that's something that's always like at the top of everyone's list is new tracking. But from what I've seen in the patents and stuff that they've released, it still looks like it's going to be LED based. From what I'm seeing, anyway. But I mean, like I said, those were just patents, so that doesn't mean they're actually doing it. But from what I can tell, it doesn't look like it's going to change.
With better hardware and better processing power, maybe your tracking will just get better through software rather than by changing the hardware. One can hope though.
That would be awesome. I mean, obviously, everyone wants this thing with the analog sticks on it. So I mean, hopefully we get something like that too. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, JD, before we let you go, you want to tell us a little bit about either YouTube or Twitch or things you're up to, or you got anything that you want to plug or let the listeners know that they can maybe look for you and how good you are at Gran Turismo?
Cool.
Get
Thanks.
some tips.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I have my Twitch channel, which I do all pretty much VR on there, and that's JDMAX 1210 on Twitch. But like I said, the last year or so, I've dived like straight into GT Sport community, and I've kind of turned my YouTube channel pretty much into like a half without parole game type chat, and then I'm racing all at the same time. So I do a lot of racing now on YouTube, and same name JDMAX, but I'm a game cat, so JDMAX is the game cat on YouTube.
Nice, cool. Dude, we really appreciate you joining us. It's like I said, it's a long time coming, so we're glad you're able to.
Yeah, man, I'd love doing this. This is awesome. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you get to see your guys' faces. I hear your guys' voices like, hey, look.
Yeah.
Who do you think's cuter? No, I'm joking.
We know it's me. We know it's me.
Okay, for those of you listening, stick with us. We'll come back in the third segment, talk about some sales, a couple airing of grievances, and some more PSVR news. So we'll talk to you then.
All right, guys. Thanks.
See ya.
Welcome back. Big thanks to JDMAX for joining us on that segment. And now it is time for segment 3, everybody's favorite segment. Actually, not really. Maybe people's least favorite segment, according to our analytics. We're going to talk about new games. We're going to talk about some news. I got a little bit of sales to talk about. Don't tune out because it might apply to you. Of course, we're going to do the airing of grievances, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. So, Adam, let's first discuss the 2 games. We finally got a drop from Sony this week. We talk about 2 games coming out next week. They're not heavy hitters. We don't know too much about them, but we're going to try our best. First one I want to talk about is Deadland VR. It's being put out by Spurs Arts, and I think it might be a single guy developing it. The description says you must defeat your fears for survival and salvation in this reign of zombies. Walk through the road without being noticed by them and kill them with different weapons you can get by walking to the bright lights on the road. Honestly, I watched some footage. It didn't look awful. It looked better than Boxing Apocalypse and VR Apocalypse and stuff like that. But it didn't look, of course, if it's just one guy, it's not as polished as something like Arizona Sunshine. Adam, do you have room in your heart for another zombie shooter?
Well, Arizona Sunshine sucks, so I'm more than happy to give this a shot because one of them have to be good. Killing Floor was good. Wouldn't say great, but Killing Floor was good. I doubt it's going to be as good as Killing Floor, but my thing is if you're going to play bad games, you might as well play new bad games rather than old bad games. So let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's boogie.
It just kind of, I don't know, it looks lo-fi, but it might be fun. They might nail the mechanics. I haven't read any reviews of the PC versions, which I typically never do anyway, so that's fine. We're trying to contact the developers. They are almost impossible to find online, but we'll see what we can do if we can try to play this game. Hopefully it comes out cheap because it looks like it's a game that should be pretty budgeted. Next up, we have Trainer VR, Adam. Adam, are you looking to get in shape? Are you looking to start exercising and stuff like that?
I'm already in shape.
Yeah, Adam says he's already in shape. It's because he's hiding his gut with that dark shirt. So Trainer VR is not going to help you, Adam, because despite its name, Trainer VR is not a game about training you. It's not like Wii Fit or anything. Trainer VR is a train construction game. Trainer, as in you are a person who is operating a train. You are a trainer.
They should be calling it Conductor VR.
Well, you're not conducting the train necessarily. What you're doing is you're kind of standing in a room and you're playing with toy trains like you might find at your local library or something. And that actually might be kind of fun. It's almost like virtual Legos, but you never run out of the pieces that you need to look for. If maybe the fun will kind of like Pierhead Arcade. It's like going into an arcade and you never run out of tokens, and so the games never seem to have challenge and they seem pointless. This might end up being something like that, but I think really it's just kind of like a Minecraft type appeal to it, where you're playing with physics and stuff. It looks nice. We're going to contact the devs, see what we can do to try to play this game as well. I have higher hopes for this one than I do for Deadland VR. Did you ever play with the toy wooden trains, Adam?
No, I had friends, so I played outside.
Okay, well, my daughter has no friends because she's a toddler, and I play with these things with her all the time. So, yeah, might be fun to play in VR.
To your family.
Yeah, she's not old enough to play VR, so this is I'll be on her level, I guess, if I play this game. But that's it for the new games coming out next week. It's not a heavy week, so it's just going to give me more time to get up in the skies with Ace Combat. We do have a little bit of new stuff coming out, though, don't we, Adam?
We sure do. So the first one I'm pretty excited for, because if you haven't played I Expect You to Die yet, one, you should, because it's a very good game. It's not graphically impressive, but it's very clever. It's very fun. You play as a secret agent who finds himself in precarious situations, and you have to make different pieces of the environment work together to pretty much create combinations to get out of that scenario. They are going to have new missions in 2019, and I don't know for sure, but I would believe they would be free if you already have purchased the game. So that is exciting. They've already come out with one DLC with additional content, so this will be another one. It's great to see these people still backing their game, even though, the game's been out for a while. I doubt they're going to get much new business from this, but yet they care about the concept and the game enough to keep putting out content. We love people like that, so we're excited. Maybe we'll try to get them on for a podcast to maybe try to talk about it a little bit. But
you know who else keeps putting out free content, Adam?
Who's that?
18 Floors.
F you. You go. I'm not talking about it. Creed is another game. They're putting out free content too here, dog. They got DLC, some new characters. Maybe we know there's some new characters. We don't know what all is incorporated in this new DLC. But the exciting thing is, with new characters, there will be more people for Alex to lose to. So that's excited.
On that front, Adam, I just want to announce to the world that I am back in the saddle. You know, I've officially started my comeback in Creed. Had a fight last night, 2 fights against the same guy, knocked him out both times. That's right. I'm getting back on there. When these new characters come out, you're going to see me walking out like Dolph Lundgren, ready to break you. So get ready. When the DLC drops, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be there to destroy you, and you'll see me at the top of the rankings if there even are rankings.
If there's like a Rocky Balboa character that you would like to either fight or play as that isn't available, which one would you want?
There are a handful. There is Hulk Hogan had a character that was a good one. Mr. T was in there. He was kind of a forgettable episode, or the most forgettable movie. Tommy Morrison played a guy named Tommy Gunn. He's a famous boxer from the 90s. He would be fun to play as or play against. But I think the person I would most want to play as is I forget his name. Anyways, wow. the robot in Rocky V, I believe. Rocky's wife's brother makes a robot, and he just kind of walks around and talks, and it's real stupid and futurist. I want to play as the robot. That's who I want in Creed.
Wow, they must have really got bottom of the barrel stuff concept-wise. A robot? I never heard that.
Completely jumping the shark. He doesn't fight him or anything. It's just a robot kind of rolling around saying, wah, 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 wah.
Did Rocky knock him out?
No, it's hilariously awful. It has no import on the story whatsoever.
Oh, okay, that's stupid. Well, that would be cool. That's not going to happen, but that would be cool. Okay, so then another game, and I'm going to be honest, we can talk about this a little bit, Alex, here. So, first of all, Honor and Duty, they're going to have even another beta coming out. So if you remember, Honor and Duty they were the people who, they had Honor and Duty beta, and it came out, and it was free. Anyone could play it. They had aim support, and granted, it was a beta. It was free, and so it was somewhat limited in its graphical limitations, but it was awesome to use the aim controller. The gameplay was, you could talk to people. It was still fun for a little while. It was free. And then they came out with a DLC or a whole new game, D-Day, and it too was free, and it too aim support, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And now they're coming out with something else, another free beta. First of all, what is going on here? They're just putting out free games, and two, people have like an obsession over this. When they hear Honor and Duty coming out, they're like, yes! I don't understand what the hype is about this. Like, I appreciate a free game with aim support, but why are people that excited? Am I missing something, Alex?
I think people enjoy it because it's being put out by at least one guy or maybe just a small group. So this kind of got an indie feel to it. So they're kind of championing the underdog there. And the game is about as close as we're going to get right now to something like Call of Duty and on PSVR with aim support. So it's fun to play. It's team deathmatch. You got vehicles and stuff that you can ride and drive. They keep adding more to it. And the guy, I think, has high hopes for what he wants to ultimately release with this game. And each of these releases, the D-Day version was way better than the first beta, and maybe this second beta is better too. The downside of this is that these kind of games bring out the worst people and the worst in people when you play online. Like Firewall was already rough playing with random people in Firewall. They take it so seriously, and they're just not fun to play with. And the one time I had a bad experience playing VR multiplayer was when I was playing this game, and it's just total losers on there talking so loud.
What happened? Because I didn't hear this.
Oh, you're just playing online. It's people like cussing you out, throwing out all kind of derogatory comments and stuff, and they just leaving their TV on, and you just hear them blaring over the TV. It's not enjoyable. And
was the guy cursing at you because you were on his team and you?
No, they're just cursing at random to anybody who can hear them. It's just complete losers playing these games. And, I mean, it might be like a small 3% of people playing the game or something, but it just makes the experience so unfun and unenjoyable. I have no desire to come back when the crux of the game is that it's online and the people you play against are just complete losers. it's really just sad. They like cuss me out and call me all sorts of bad things, and so I kill them, and I'm like, all right, I just wiped you guys, and somehow I'm the idiot, I'm the loser. It's just, ugh.
You can mute them, right?
Maybe you can, but part of these games is you need to communicate to really succeed and have fun, so you don't want to mute everybody. It's just too much work. It's not trouble. I hate the multiplayer Call of Duty scene. It just bothers me so much because it's just people take it so seriously, and it just makes it not fun anymore, especially somebody like me who doesn't have all day to pour into a game like this.
Probably because you suck.
Maybe I do suck, whatever.
It is. Okay, so then our last bit of news is we've got some Dick Wild 2 being released. It's going to have co-op. They did say it was going to be easier. And this is a game, Alex, that you and I, we haven't played. So I don't know. I'm sure we don't need to play Dick Wild to try the second one. But I did hear the first one. Obviously still has aim support. But it was just so brutally difficult. And I'm not about that life. Like, if you're going to have a wave shooter, at least make it playable. And so I'm interested in the second one, but I probably won't play the first before the second.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I think the best way they should do this is they should release the first one as like a pre-order bonus for anybody who, like a free pre-order bonus. You get the first one if you pre-order the second one. I think that would be their best move. I don't know if they can do that if they're too small of developers to have pre-orders, but I'm interested in this. It sounds like they learned a lot, and I'm always down for more aim support. Adam, you hate wave shooters. I can still get behind it if it's novel. These guys seem like a fun bunch, and it has a lot of personality to the game. Co-op is always welcome in VR games. So I'm interested. It's got move support. It's got aim support. The levels are actually moving, so it might feel less like a wave shooter and more like what is it called? Rush of Blood, Until Dawn, something like that. So yeah, tentatively excited. I have higher hopes for this than normal.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's all the news coming out. Adam, do you have anything else?
No, but I think you had a sale. Well,
I have
not PSVR sale, but
a minor PSVR sale. You know, I'm not talking about the digital stuff, but anybody who is near a Shopko, it's kind of like a Sears. I think it's mainly in the Midwest. They are going out of business or something like that. They're shutting down most of their stores. So if you go to one of those, you can get a PSVR for pretty cheap. So if you're listening to this, you probably already have a PSVR, but maybe somebody in your family wants to get a PSVR. They have the standalone PSVR unit. It's basically just the headset for $120, which is pretty cheap. You know, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's probably as cheap as you're going to find it. And they also have a box of new Move controllers for $30. Now, if you go there, it's going to say it's $70, but you go ring it up. Sweet little old lady behind the counter is going to scan it. It's going to say $29.99, going to say you save $50, something like that. That's a heck of a deal. And these new Move controllers, they're slightly better. I think they track a little bit better. They feel a little bit better, have a little bit better battery than the old Move controllers you'd get for the PS3. They're better than what you would get used. So $30 is a pretty good deal for Move controllers. I know I bought a PSVR headset from my dad, bought him some Move controllers, going to be sending that out to him. So maybe, in a couple months we might have my dad on the podcast railing on Adam, really taking him to task for his bad opinions. So yeah, you got a loved one, you want to drop a PSVR on him, go for it. Go check out Shopko, see if you can find one for cheap. Yeah, just run it up to the counter, see what it rings up as. That's the sale I want to talk about this week, and that's all we have for sales this week because apparently people don't like hearing about it.
We don't know that.
We don't know.
But whatever. Yeah, so I do want to give a very quick shout out. We already kind of mentioned it. On Reddit, Friend Called 5 contacted us, and he was the one who told me that the audio last week sounded like butthole when you could hear typing. But what I want to give him a shout out for is because he went out of his way to contact us on Reddit. Not only did he have to find us on Reddit, but then, send us a message. He certainly didn't need to do that. So we appreciate all the good and constructive wow, F me, dude. Constructive criticism that you guys have. So, friend, you're our friend. Thank you, dog. Hope you're still listening. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm pretty sure this sounds much better. You haven't heard typing this podcast. So hopefully you're enjoying it. If you want to join us, let's do it, dude. It'll be fun. It'll be a great time. So thanks for contacting us. Now, I've already given my airing of grievance because I'm not going to name the game, but I would rather suck a fart out of a hippopotamus's butthole. But Alex, you surely have a grievance this week, right?
I'm not too heated about stuff. Ace Combat has me in a good place. I'm really happy with what I've got from that. But what I do want to give a grievance to, I kind of alluded to it earlier with Deadland VR and Trainer VR, is it's bad enough that Sony doesn't tell us what games are coming out. But when we can do the research and we find out a game that's coming out, we want to be able to contact the developers and the publishers. We want to find out about these games. But some of these games, it's impossible to find them, to contact them. Spurs Arts, the publishers of Deadlands, their website just says coming soon. I don't think they have a Twitter presence. I don't see them on Reddit. You definitely can't find anything from the developer. What is the point of putting up the money to release a game and then completely avoiding any kind of PR or press for it, other than if you just don't want people to play the game and you want them to fall bass backwards into the game and just accidentally spend their money on it? Maybe that's the game plan. You know, I'm not a businessman. I'm not a publisher or producer, so I don't know the ins and outs of the strategies. But God, it's just so frustrating to just try to find you guys. We just want to talk about your games. We want to talk to you. And if we have problems with it, we want to be able to contact you and say, hey, how can we fix this? How can we make this better? And you guys don't want to talk to us. You don't want anybody to talk to you. You want to make yourselves invisible. When you make yourself invisible, you make your game invisible, and you make all the fun invisible, and you make life invisible. You can't even get virtual reality, can't even get you in real reality. It's stupid. If you got a game, tweet about it. Send it to us. We'll tweet about it. We don't even need you. We just need your game. Let us play your game. That's my mild grievance, Adam.
Yeah, not too bad. It can be annoying, but you know, what are you going to do? Who knows? Maybe there's a couple gems. Remember Pop-Up Pilgrims? Remember Cold Iron when it was the best game of 2019? That could be, or Trainer VR could be this year's Cold Iron. You never know.
I don't know, and I'm never going to know because I don't even know if the game's going to come out. Who knows?
That's actually a pretty good point. We've gotten burned on that too. We know nothing. We know nothing. Okay, well, regardless, we thank you for listening to Play PSVR, the podcast. So this is the 50th episode. Here's to 50 more, Alex. It was, it's been a great time. So we appreciate you listening to us. Check out all of our material on PlayPSVR.com. Also, be sure to check, we got YouTube and Twitch, Reddit, Twitter. You can contact us in all of those. We'll gladly contact you back quickly. And just keep talking with us. Subscribe to the podcast. And thanks again for JD. Thank you for joining us, our friend. What a great time. We enjoy that guy. Maybe now I know what racing wheel to buy. But the thing is, will I pony up and actually purchase it? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. And always remember, guys, as my parting farewell, is that if you see a woman named Dan, stay away from her or him or whatever she is. She's mine. But really, stay away. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next week.